Jesus speaks, with the presence of angels. You didn't find this by accident. In a few minutes, you'll notice how the atmosphere around you shifts. Quieter, still, sharper. This isn't just emotion, it's my approach. I am coming. Not empty-handed, but with a message that's been prepared specifically for you. Heaven did not stay silent. This moment has been chosen to step into your life. You may have felt lately that something is changing. Like time feels heavier, your thoughts louder, your heart more unsettled. That's not confusion. It's a signal. The spiritual reality is already unfolding around you. You haven't forgotten God, and He has not forgotten you. Today, I sent angels ahead with a message. Prepare. This won't be a fleeting comfort. This is the start of something new. We are not just standing at the door. We're one step away from entering. What I need from you isn't performance, just an open heart. You don't have to say anything loud. Just pause, look, listen. Don't close off, even if it hurts. Because in just a few minutes you'll realize you're not alone. And from this moment on, you never will be. The world around you may seem the same, but inside, something irreversible is beginning. I'm drawing near, not with judgment, but with love. I'm not here to condemn. I'm here to remain, to heal, to set free, to start again. This will change everything, if you let me in. I saw what you went through, not just the circumstances, but the weight beneath them. The pressure in your chest, the silent cries, the nights when everything inside you whispered, I can't do this anymore. But even then, you kept walking, maybe slowly, maybe broken, but you didn't stop. I saw every step. You thought you were breaking, that something inside had snapped for good. But I was holding you even then. You bent, but you didn't fall. You burned, but you didn't disappear. That wasn't your strength. It was mine. Working through you when you had none left, and my angels were standing guard, holding the ground around you when everything else was shaking. You were like a tree in the storm, branches torn, roots straining, but you stood. And now, I tell you this, none of it was wasted. Every tear, every quiet act of faith, every time you kept going when nothing made sense. I saw it, I counted it, my angels saw it, and they're still with you, not just to guard you, but to deliver what I've promised. You were never invisible to heaven. What you carried alone, I counted as worship. What you held in silence, I saw as strength. And now comes the shift. Not into another storm, but into a season of restoration. I will build on what felt like ashes. I will raise you from ground you thought was lost. This is not the end. It's what your endurance has made possible. Today, something ends. And not in theory, in you. I saw the invisible weight you've been carrying. The fear that paralyzed your decisions. The shame that tightened around your voice. The thoughts that said, you'll never be free. But I say this now. Those voices were not mine. And they lose their power today. You were never created to live chained. You were made for freedom, not just outwardly, but deep within. And I came to restore that freedom. My angels are already surrounding you. They are not coming in judgment. They carry the sound of release. They are touching what you thought would never loosen. And in places no one else sees, chains are beginning to fall. You may feel warmth in your chest, or a sudden stillness inside. Don't ignore it. That's not imagination. That's me. I'm moving through layers of fear, through memories that tried to define you, through wounds you thought you'd buried for good. My voice is stronger than your past, and right now, I'm speaking freedom over you. You don't have to fight to earn this. You don't have to prove you're ready. You just need to receive it. This is not about your effort. It's about my presence. And where I am, freedom begins. Let go. The prison door is open. You don't belong in that cage. You never did. And today, you walk out. Free. You thought no one noticed. That your quiet effort, your silent pain, your choice to keep going when everything inside said stop, went unseen. But I was there, not far away, not distracted. I saw every moment. I watched you, not with disappointment, but with deep love. I never took my eyes off you. I saw when you held others while you yourself were breaking, when you smiled so no one else would worry, when you chose to believe again, even with tears in your eyes. None of that disappeared into silence. I remembered it all, like treasures hidden in the dark. I gathered each one. My angels stood witness too. They stood beside you in moments you thought you were completely alone. They're still here, but now they come not only as guardians, they come bearing what you sowed in faith. Heaven never forgot. You were never overlooked. What felt like nothing to you was everything to me. And today the first fruits begin to appear. My presence is not a reward. It's a response to the heart that never let go. I don't measure greatness the way the world does. I look at faith that stands in the shadows, at courage that chooses love anyway. And I say to you now, I've seen it. All of it. I saw you, and I see you still. And this moment right now is not a coincidence. It's fulfillment, and it's just beginning. There have been voices, harsh, persistent, cruel. They told you that you weren't enough, that you were too much, that you were broken beyond repair. They dressed up as truth, but their source was darkness. They weren't from me, and I'm silencing them now. You've lived too long under their shadow, words spoken over you or inside you that made you shrink. That kept you from lifting your head. That replayed your mistakes and labeled you by them. But I didn't call you failure. I didn't name you shame. I named you mine. My angels have heard every insult whispered against you in the silence, and now they've come to do more than guard. They've come to restore what those words tried to steal. I'm speaking a different name over you, not the name your past gave you. The name I've always known, chosen, loved, still worthy. I never measured your value by your perfection. I looked at your heart, bruised, yes, but still reaching for light. And that was enough for me, still is. Today, I invite you to release every word that never came from me. Let them fall. Let them die. They were never yours to carry. You are not what you've been called. You are who I say you are. And I say, you're not too far. You're not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for me to begin something new. And I already have. There are things you've lived through that others wouldn't believe. Moments so heavy, so silent, they didn't even look like suffering from the outside. But they cut you deeply. You didn't always have the words for it. But I knew. I felt it when you did, and I never looked away. I know the places you don't speak of. I know what broke your voice, what froze your hope. But I'm not asking you to pretend anymore. I'm inviting you to bring those scars into the light, not to be exposed, but to be healed. You don't have to be ashamed of surviving. What you've carried in secret, I will redeem in the open. You are not too broken for me. In fact, it's your brokenness that moves my heart. Let me touch what others have avoided. Let me breathe where others have withdrawn. Because I don't turn away. I draw near. You've looked around and wondered if you missed it. If everyone else is ahead. If the moments you waited for have already passed you by. But listen to me now. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where I knew you would be. And I am here with you. There is no clock in heaven counting down against you. I don't compare your journey to anyone else's. What looks like delay to you has been preparation with me. While you were waiting, I was working, building strength in the deep places, shaping the unseen parts of you. You may not have seen the fruit yet, but the roots have gone deep. That matters more than you know. My angels have stood over the seeds you planted in faith. They have watered them with tears you thought were wasted. And now, the shift is near. What has been growing in silence will begin to rise. Don't measure yourself by what hasn't happened yet. I'm not anxious about your timing, and you don't need to be either. What I've promised still stands. What I've begun, I will finish. There is no missed calling, no lost moment I can't redeem. I don't just restore, I resurrect. So lift your eyes, let go of regret. You haven't missed the moment. You are standing in it now, and I'm right here, leading you forward, step by step, perfectly on time. I know what you've lost. I know what didn't work out. the dreams that unraveled, the relationships that slipped through your fingers, the hopes you buried quietly, without telling anyone. I saw it all, not from a distance, but with you, grieving as you grieved. But hear me now. What's ahead will not look like what you lost. I'm not recycling your past. I'm writing something new. What I'm building in you doesn't come from regret. It comes from resurrection, from grace, from ground you thought was no longer usable. My angels are already preparing the space. They move ahead of you, clearing the path, not to repeat what was, but to establish what will be. You've shed tears over empty places, but those places are about to bloom, not in the same shape, not with the same story, but with greater beauty than what was taken. You are not moving in circles. You're not returning to what hurt you. You are stepping into a future written by my hand, not built on fear, but on promise. What I have for you doesn't carry the weight of the past. It carries the glory of redemption. So release the image of how it should have been. Make room for what will be. I haven't forgotten the ache, but I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, and what's coming will make sense of what broke you. You've carried the weight of appearing strong for too long, smiling when you were aching, saying I'm fine when your soul was anything but. You've done it to protect others, to survive, to keep moving. But now I say to you, you don't have to pretend anymore. I never asked you to perform your healing. I never required perfection to draw near. I wanted the real you, the tired, the confused, the one holding it together with trembling hands. That's who I've always loved. That's who I'm speaking to now. My angels saw the moments when you were most undone, and they didn't flinch. They stayed. They surrounded you with quiet strength. And they're here again, not because you earned it, but because you're mine. You don't need to act like you're okay. I already know what's beneath the surface, and I still say, come closer. Let me hold what you've hidden. Let me speak where you've gone silent. I'm not afraid of your mess. I'm not disappointed in your humanity. I'm drawn to it. I came for it. You've never had to hide from me. And today I'm giving you permission to exhale, to be honest, to be soft, to be seen. You're safe here, not because of what you show me, but because of who I am. And who I am is not going anywhere. You've whispered it quietly. Maybe it's too late. Too late to heal, to rebuild, to become whole again. You've looked at the time that's passed, the opportunities missed, the wounds that stayed too long, and you've wondered if restoration is still possible. But I am not bound by time, and I am not finished with you. What you thought was wasted, I've preserved. What looked like an ending, I've marked as a beginning. My restoration doesn't follow the rules of this world. It breaks them, and it starts now. My angels have gone ahead of you to places you thought were closed forever. They are touching memories you buried, dreams you left behind, areas of your life you gave up on. But I haven't given up. I've held them in my hands, waiting for this moment, not to return to the past, but to resurrect what carries eternal purpose. You may feel like you're behind, but I've been setting the stage all along. You weren't forgotten. You were being prepared. And what seemed like delay was grace protecting you until you were ready to carry the fullness of what I've designed. So let go of the lie that says, it's too late. It's not. I am the God who restores years, not just days. And right now, I'm doing what only I can. Rebuilding from the inside out. Not patched up. Not just repaired. Fully renewed. And it begins with your yes. This is your moment to breathe again. To stop bracing for disappointment. To stop expecting everything to fall apart. I know you've been through enough to make you cautious. I know how hope can feel dangerous when it's been broken before. But hear me, you are safe now. Safe to begin again. Not because the world is suddenly perfect. Not because every scar has disappeared. But because I am here, and I'm not going anywhere. My presence isn't a visit, it's a home. I didn't come to stir your emotions for a moment. I came to stay, to walk with you into what's next, step by step. without fear. My angels remain around you, not to carry judgment, but to carry peace. They are guarding the space we're creating together. A space for healing, for newness, for restoration you don't have to earn. The pressure is off. You don't have to prove you're ready. You only need to say, I'm willing. You've reached the end of a long road, but this is not the finish. This is a new beginning, grounded in my love, covered in grace, sustained by my spirit. Don't hold your breath waiting for something to go wrong. Breathe deep. This time you're not alone. This time it's different, because this time, I'm building it with you. You felt like giving up more than once. Not because you're weak, but because the waiting has been long. Because breakthroughs kept slipping through your hands. Because you didn't see signs that anything was changing. But I need you to hear me now. You are closer than you think. Many of my greatest moves happen in silence. Right before the shift, it feels the heaviest. Right before the opening, the darkness deepens. But I've never stopped moving. Even when you couldn't feel it, I was aligning pieces, opening doors, changing things in ways your eyes couldn't yet see. My angels are already in motion. Some things are shifting even as you listen. The pressure you felt wasn't failure. It was birth. And what's coming through now has weight, has purpose, has heaven written into it. Don't let tiredness convince you it's over. You're standing on the edge of what I promised. Hold on. Not out of desperation, but with trust. This isn't a desperate grip. It's steady expectation. Because I never start what I don't finish, and I never leave what I claim. You are mine, and that means every step forward is secure. You've asked for peace, maybe not out loud, but in the quiet corners of your heart. You've longed for something deeper than a moment of calm. Not the temporary relief that fades with the next wave of life, but something steady, real, strong enough to hold you through the storm. And this is what I tell you now. My peace is not a feeling, it's my presence. You may have searched for peace in changed circumstances, in fixed problems, in answers that never came fast enough. But what I offer goes beyond understanding. It doesn't depend on what's happening around you. It flows from who I am, and I am with you. When I say I give you peace, I'm not giving you a mood. I'm giving you myself. I'm standing in the middle of your chaos. I'm walking through the noise beside you. I don't promise a life free of trouble. I promise a heart anchored in me, and that anchor holds. My angels surround you even now. They are not just watching, they are establishing. They are marking the ground you walk on. Not every storm will be removed, but the storm inside you is losing its voice. The atmosphere within you is shifting. This is not just comfort, this is covering. You don't have to chase stillness anymore. You don't have to fear the next wave. You carry peace because you carry me. And wherever I am, darkness doesn't last. So let the fear fall. Let the tension leave. Let your shoulders drop and your breath return. You are not alone and never will be. This is how it begins. Not with answers, but with presence. Not with the world changing, but with your heart resting. In me, my peace is with you and it will not leave.